420 buzZ. I'm your host, Vincent Squatch, and I'm here with Laureen, Leigh.
Welcome to episode 29. No, it's
hempisode.
It's hempisode, and it's number.
It's not 29.
It's not 29.
No.
What number is it? 27.
No, 27 was last time.
Oh, it was.
Yeah.
All right, 28.
Yeah.
Episode 28. Welcome to episode 28. We can edit that part out.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll do that. Like to welcome everyone, and I'd like to say that I hope what happened last year at Christmas doesn't happen this year.
What happened last year?
Well, Santa Claus got stuck in my swamp cooler. He thought it was a chimney. So, I hope that didn't happen. The only thing, one of those things can only happen in Lake County. 2010 harvest was very bountiful in Northern California this year.
It was huge.
Huge. Many different strains were grown this year.
Yeah.
Lake, Mendocino, Humboldt, Trinity.
Yeah.
And Lake County, there was many different strains. There was a lot of people grew. That was their first grow because they saw, the cannabis industry, and maybe this show spurned some people to grow.
Probably.
There was many, like you could just drive through some areas in October and just smell the different kinds of buds.
Oh, you're not kidding. Yeah.
And I've tried probably close to 40 different strains, which is a lot more than I've tried. This is like...
That's a lot more than most people, I think.
Yeah, a lot of different strains. We're going to be
I didn't
reviewing
know they
some
had
local
that many.
strains.
They have 40 strains out there?
Oh, there's probably a couple hundred
Wow.
strains. Yeah.
Wow. Well, I guess you're falling behind then.
Yeah.
I'm really falling behind then.
Lake County, though, a lot of people experimented and came out with a lot of great herb this year. So thanks to all the local growers out there, and we'll be reviewing some of that herb today. And just so the people out there know what we'll be reviewing a little bit later so they can get ready for it, because they might be the ones that grew it, we'll be reviewing Headband, we're reviewing Alaskan Thunder, we'll also be reviewing Granddaddy Purple, and Paranormal, as well as Pineapple Express. That was a great movie, Pineapple Express. I want to tell people an odd story with my mom. We went to a local hydroponics store, and I got some coconut husk, and we had saw Pineapple Express the night before, so she turns to me and the guy working there, and she said, yeah, they should come up with a bag of this stuff called Coconut Express. Me and him busted up laughing. It was one of those things only a mom could say. Hi, Mom. She's watching this show.
Yeah, she's one of our favorite viewers.
And I'd like to say hi to everybody on over here on Ustream, and everybody at YouTube, Facebook, Current TV.
Mm-hmm. And 420news.com.
www.420lakenews.com.
Yep.
Great. The Jack Hare initiative we're going to go into a little bit later, but I would like to talk about the Prop 19 failing.
Yeah.
I voted no on it.
Yep.
And the reason I voted no on it is because a lot of the biotech companies were going to get into it.
Yep.
Monsanto, they were going to genetically modify it. It was going to take it out of the private growers' hands and put it more into the corporations' hands.
Yeah.
It's like I said before, how many people these days that smoke cigarettes grow their own tobacco? They've taken it out of the tobacco people's hands. Now if people want to smoke tobacco, they have to go to the store and buy it, and that's what the man wants eventually for cannabis.
Well,
so
what's interesting
though?
People can grow tobacco in their yard, and they don't even put a limit on how much you can grow. If you want to get out there and grow it, that's the thing. People aren't going to actually go out there and grow their own cannabis. Some people will, but most people would love the convenience of being able to go into the store and buy it, and make it easy for them. One of the things we were talking about on our last episode was about the problems with Prop 19. Yes. And some of the stuff we talked about was here's the I forget exactly what you called it, but you were saying like the problems with it or something like that. About well, first of all, you can only have an ounce.
Yeah, which is ridiculous. I go through that in the morning sometimes.
Yeah, well, the thing is it just doesn't really make sense.
And then
sorry, but that's a lot.
A 5 by 5 foot area to grow in.
Well, but if you just think about it, if you even just grow one tree or one plant, I guess most people grow plants, but some people grow trees. And if you grow one, you're going to get a lot more than an ounce.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the people that use it for oils and stuff that aren't able to smoke it, that need it, they're going to need a lot more. They're going to need a lot, to break it down into the oil.
Yeah, there's a couple of patients that I wanted to help this harvest season. I made some butter and some oil. We're going to talk about that later. I don't even know what the rule is about how many ounces I can use.
You're using it in a kitchen with other people that also have licenses, so each people in that kitchen that has a license able to have that amount. So so anything amount you say will be okay.
Yeah, it's not even that sounds logical to me. Okay, it's not even for me, I'm making it for other people, but regardless anyway, but I'm just gonna say I made a bottle of oil for one of the patients, and that and another half a bottle was like 8 ounces. Is that a lot? That's a lot, isn't it?
No.
Is it? That's like a half a pound.
That's for a lot of people, and that's a lot of medicine.
Isn't that like a half a pound?
Yeah, it's a half pound. But that's a lot of medicine for a lot of different people.
Yeah, that's true.
A lot of different medications, that's like...
I did it totally for free. Like, I wasn't even asking for anything. I just wanted to help people, But that's a half a pound, isn't it? Yeah,
but that's not that much considering, since it's an edible, because when you do an edible, it takes a lot more than if people are to smoke it.
I know. To you, it's not that much.
So we're glad that it failed. Prop 19 failed. They are probably going to try this again. So people that do smoke cannabis, do use cannabis medicinally, read the whole things with it. And don't read just the little thing in the voter guide, because the thing in the voter guide was really vague. And a lot of people that smoke cannabis were for this, saying, oh, this is a good thing. Bill Gates, who owns a lot of these biotech companies, pumped $1.4 million into this vote yes on Prop 19. Bill Gates.
Wow.
And Monsanto pumped a bunch of money into it. A bunch of money was dropped into Facebook
I didn't know that. Yeah. Well, you know what I was going to say as far as
Hollywood. Richard Leigh pumped a lot of money into it too, from Oaksterdam. Richard Leigh that runs Oaksterdam, he pumped a lot of money into it.
We totally talked to that guy and met him and everything. Well, we were going to do an interview with him.
The Jack Hare Initiative. The Jack Hare Initiative, I got signatures for, and unfortunately it didn't get enough signatures, but that was the one I was for.
Yeah.
And how that would have made it would have made it so cannabis is just like a tomato. And just like any other plant. Just like any other plant, you can use it for whatever you want to. If you want to use it for medicine, if you want to use it to make hemp, for hemp products, if you want to get the plant and juice it.
Yeah, anything you want to do in your house, you mean.
Yeah, anything you want to do with it. Now, if you want to get that plant and sell it at a market value, what his required also is that you get a business, if you're going to do anything on that thing, and that you get a business license, and that you sell it, and and that would do all that type of thing with that way with the industry part of it.
So you could do it commercially, or you could do it personally or privately. Yeah. So privately, it'd just be like having your regular food garden.
Exactly.
And then commercially, it'd be just like if you had a business doing a garden or selling lettuces or tomatoes or whatever.
Exactly.
Wow. So, wouldn't it be nice if we could just vote on that?
That would have been great if it would have gotten enough signatures. And another good part about it that a lot of people would like to hear is on a state and local level, it would absolve everybody that's has a felony for marijuana. It would take it off the record unless it was a federal. If they've been charged federally, then that
Eddie left.
Yeah, that wouldn't. That's a different thing, because that's not initiative is only for the state. It's not for the United States, so that wouldn't work. But for people that have been arrested on a local level, and now if they've been arrested in Illinois, they wouldn't be able to absolve that. Or mine was in New York, they wouldn't be able to absolve that. But if you were arrested in California for cannabis, that would be absolved off your record. And if you there would be no time or anything, and people that are incarcerated right now for cannabis would be let out of jail unless they were in jail in prison on a federal level.
That'd be neat. That'd be like a real party day.
Yeah,
definitely. It'd probably be like a holiday, like a stoner's holiday or something. Go down in history.
So the Jack Hare Initiative, and I know some other people are going to keep it on. When it comes up again, look for it. Jack Hare Initiative, that's the one that you want to sign. And even though he's passed away, God rest his soul, we are going to have this come about. I know people across the world still love Jack and are going to get this going for him. So.
You put a lot of his life effort into that initiative.
Yeah.
A lot of research and writing the initiative himself
Yes.
with some help, and also going out and getting signatures and getting other people involved. And I remember when that was happening just a few years ago, pretty much up until a few months before he passed away, even into last summer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He had his initiative written before Prop 19 was written.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He had his written way before
Yeah.
then.
And that was really where a lot of the focus was, really looking at his initiative and trying to support that.
And as nobody out there can deny, if it wasn't for Jack Herod, Prop 215 wouldn't have been out there, because he was one of the main people in that movement. He was out there, making sure people got the signatures, out there doing every, thing he could. 1995, from 94 till 96 of his past, he was either on the computer or speaking,
Yeah.
or doing legwork, or walking up and down Telegraph Avenue or Haight Street, or going to the colleges
Or the
and
clubs.
speaking, going to clubs, talking to people, talking about Proposition 215, getting other people involved, getting other people to get signatures,
Yeah.
and it was a grand thing, and they got it passed. All right, the jobs that would come about if
Yeah.
the Jack Hare initiative was to be put through.
That's right. Anybody just like us, if we wanted to have a little greenhouse or a little farm or whatever, we could make, like we're talking about, salves for your leg.
Yeah.
We could make things like that, tinctures. There's a ton of products you could make, even just on a small scale. As a small business person, you could do that, or huge commercial things like fuels and oils, foods and textiles.
Textiles, hempcrete.
Yeah.
A lot
What
of
is that?
people.
You were gonna tell
Yeah,
us?
what hempcrete is, it's the hemp husk and the fibers.
Mm-hmm.
When you rip it up, with, let's say, with a modern decorticator, they invented the decorticator back in the 1940s. If there was a modern decorticator,
Yeah.
It
We
would-
talked about the decorticator on the radio show.
Yeah.
Out
and
in
the Emperor Wears No Clothes.
Mendocino.
KMEC.
Yeah, KMEC at the in Mendocino Mendocino Environmental Center radio station when we were doing the show there. Well, and we talked about that decorticator. What would be the difference between it now and then? It's
Well, the technology they would have for a decorticator now would, it'd probably be all computerized. It would probably be able
Wow.
to do it in, a hundredth of the time.
what does it actually do? It does something to the core of the hemp plant.
Yeah, it goes in, it drives in two things on the side, and spins it like a
Uh-huh,
lathe,
uh-huh.
and strips
Strips
it.
all the fibers off
Yes,
of it.
strips all the
Oh.
fibers off. Just like, I guess, to describe it so people can get a visual of it, it's like if you had a machine to make a baseball bat.
Oh yeah.
And you stick the piece of wood in there, and that's what it does, and it gets all the fibers out. And then once that's done, then the other core husk, once the thing's taken down, then that's stripped again,
Oh.
because there's two parts. There's two parts of the
Right.
hemp plant. You have your, a lot of the top part's fibers, really fibrous
really
and stuff.
thick and fibrous. Yeah.
And then the center part's even thicker, more like a wood.
Oh.
And then when that would be taken down and put in when they had the old decorticators, it would strip it down to, let's say the stalk was this big. Well, it'd strip it down to about that big,
Wow.
like that, and then it would get that other part and strip that down to, just strips of like that long, however long the thing was, and put that in a separate place. Because it would do one thing and then put that in one part of the machine and then the other part. So the technology they have now, being at 2010 going into 2011, they would be able to have it.
Wow.
Or it'd probably do it in seconds.
What kind of stuff do they do with the outer stuff versus the inner stuff? Like, what are the differences in products that you can make out of that stuff?
The top parts of it are made more for light industrial.
Like ropes and stuff?
Yeah. No, that would actually be the inner part.
Oh.
The light industrial would be more like baskets or clothing. They use that
Like
for the
fabrics?
Yeah, the fabrics, definitely. That's all the
Oh.
outer husk is all the
Oh.
fabrics and stuff. Now I have a shirt that's made out of hemp, that's made out of the inner core, and you can really tell because it's super, super thick.
Oh.
And then my underwear I have is really thinner, and that's made from the outer husk.
Yeah.
And it's really, really good stuff.
Ed's calling.
All right, Dr. Ed.
Hey, Ed.
This is about the third or fourth time.
He does. He always calls when we're taping his show.
Let's answer it.
Okay. Aloha. Ed? Oh, he hung up. Oh, Ed, it failed. He was almost on the 420 buzz. Well, we'll just have to make him wait. Sorry, Ed. So, but you were telling us about the Crete, so sorry to interrupt, but I was just so fascinated with the decorticator machine. I mean, really, because I saw the old Army, was it? The old Army little advertisement that they did about hemp, saying, oh,
hemp for victory.
Yeah, hemp for victory, yeah, and they're cutting down all this huge hemp, and they've got these machines and everything, and was one of those a decorticator?
You know what? I believe it was.
Really?
The decorticator was originally made in Germany.
A few different ones, a few different machines. One out in the field. They showed one inside the factory.
Inside the factory was a decorticator.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure it was a decorticator.
Yeah. Wow, cool.
I'd like to research that and find that out. That would be cool.
So what is the Crete again? Sorry, what's the Crete?
Okay, so they get the hemp husk and fibers, and they put that in a type of concrete type of solution and mix it together, and it's called hempcrete, and they make cinder blocks out of it.
Oh, for real?
It's hempcrete.
Wow. Now that's cool. I've learned so much about hemp and pot and everything being on this show. I mean, they're even making bricks out of it. I think I heard something like a benefit or some kind of a fundraiser with these bricks. Have you heard of something about that? Yeah, what is that?
It was in San Diego, and it was part of a cannabis conference, and each person that came in, they gave a brick to. And when you went in there, they told you where to put the brick, and at the end of the thing, they had something built, and everybody that went to the event built the thing.
Wow, how neat.
So,
wow, that's
really
cool. Yay. Awesome. Well, so you know, it would be great as, you know, the jobs that we could have in our state would be, you know, that we'd welcome that really anytime, especially right now. Also, the income from it and that.
'Cause right now we're exporting, we're bringing into the United States all the hemp from like MeLLa, China, Japan, Canada, where we could be growing it and making the money. And if the United States wanted to get involved, all those farms that are sitting empty in the Midwest could be growing hemp and using it for different products and stuff.
For so many different things. Yeah, it just seems weird. Now, okay, so you got to think about it from all the perspectives that you can possibly look at it from. And when you think about if you're a huge corporation, which is pretty much what's running the country these days, because that's where the money's at, right? You're feeling threatened by this amazing product that can replace all kinds of things. And it would be good in a lot of ways for the environment, for the economy, for just so many different things, okay? But they're looking at it as how are we going to benefit from it instead of, they have to look at it as how are we going to benefit from it versus how is it going to squash us, right? Because if it gets in and we're all